using the color picker and Swatches panel in Adobe Photoshop. First, let's start by opening the color picker. If you have not found this already, this is a really useful tool, giving us a chance to choose colors in a multiple different way. So let's go ahead, and you can access the color picker, like I say, a number of different ways. First, let's just do some house cleaning here on my interface. I tend to like to have my tools two up. And I tend to like to just be resting on the move tool. And this is just because it's the least likely for me to accidentally change something. So that's just kind of what my resting tool is. Also, I can choose to view my default colors. Now, we have the quick little link here that will default foreground and background color. D on my keyboard will also do that. And then X will toggle, or using this little arrow key, same thing, switch foreground, background color. So we're going to be dealing with color today. So I want to bring out my color panel, and I'm just going to bring it over so you can see it a little bit better, and swatches. Let's take both of those out. Okay, now so to access my color picker, I can do it in a number of ways. Number one, I can double click on any foreground, background color thumbnail. So that means either over here, my foreground color, my background color in my toolbar, or over here in my color panel. So it does not matter where I double click, but when I do that, I'm going to get my color picker. This is my color picker. So I can choose a color from the color spectrum right here. Or I can numerically define a color. And if you remember the different color models, I have HSB, hue, saturation, brightness. I have RGB, red, green, blue. That's my additive color model. I have my hex numbers here, my hexadecimal values. And remember, those are 3 pairs of letters or numbers that define RGB. And it's usually, my zeros and Fs, zeros minimum luminance, Fs are maximum luminance, so we'll look at that in a moment. I have lab, LAB, which is luminance, and then 2 chromatic components, A and B. And then I have CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and key color, pretty much meaning black. And that's my subtractive color model that would be intended for print. So those are all different ways that I can choose numerically by entering a value in the text box here. And I will numerically define that custom color. So I also can click inside of this area here. I can drag my sliders along this vertical color bar and get to different hues. You can see that my hue is actually changing. It's as though this is the color wheel just spread out. Okay, so I can drag, I can actually just click in here as well to navigate. I can also click inside of here to gather. And when I enter out into an image that I have open, I can also click there. And you can see how it's changing as I'm clicking around. And I can click and drag too, and it picks up the colors that are directly underneath of that little eyedropper tool. So a lot of different ways that you can choose your new color. Wanted to make a note here. I have 2 warning boxes right now. This top warning, this tells me that this color that I have as my new color is out of gamut. So that means it's a color that really can't be printed. This bottom color says that this is not a web safe color, and if I click on the little boxes below, the warning will go away saying now this isn't within my gamut, and this box here will put me within my web safe colors. Sometimes it's not going to be mutual. I'm going to click one and the other is going to stay up. If I click the other one will appear again. So sometimes it's just a color that's not possible either way. And you can see my hex numbers now here that are stated. So that's the way that I can do a new color. I can directly add it to my swatches if I want. So let's go ahead and just do that. It gives me a chance to name it. I'll just keep it as swatch 1 by default and click OK. And then I can cancel this, close it. When I extend my swatches here, notice that my very last color here and the tooltip will pop up, swatch 1, because I didn't creatively name this, but you can see that that's where that new swatch is at. So over here, while we're in the swatches panel, we have a visual display of colors to pick from. And we can change the view of the swatches panel by using the little menu. So the little lines will open up my menu. Now I can change my swatch from small thumbnail to large thumbnail. This is just the viewing of it. You can see it takes up quite a bit more space, but if you like to see it a little bit larger. And then you can go to list view, either small or large. Again, you have to scroll to see everything. I tend to like it in small thumbnail because I can see them all at one time. To add a new color, I added one from my color picker already, but I can use my new icon right here, and it's going to save the color that I have currently with active. So I have my foreground color active. You can see the extra little highlight around it. So that's the color that's going to be added. Very creative. It's black right now. Let's use my eyedropper tool to sample up some colors here. To quickly navigate from foreground to background, I can press X. It swaps it, and now I can pull up maybe a green right there. So now if I wanted to add that green color, there it is, and I'll click OK. Again, you should be creatively naming them. I'm not doing that right now, but you should, so that you know what colors you are sampling. I can delete a color in here as well. If I decide I don't want this one, I can press the trash can by dragging that swatch down. I can also hold down my Alt or Option key. I get a scissor, and that will delete that. And so your undos do not get it back. So if you delete a color, it's gone. So make sure that that's exactly what you want it to do.